Most people treat their bodies like a rental car, driving it hard, ignoring the warning lights, and assuming they can just trade it in when it breaks down. But you cannot trade this vehicle. The body you inhabit today is the exact same house you have to live in when you are 80. If you don't want to suffer in old age, you must understand a brutal truth. Biology is ruthless, and it does not forgive neglect. Suffering in your later years often begins with the loss of mobility. It isn't usually a heart attack that steals your quality of life first. It is the inability to stand up from a chair without assistance. It is the frailty that turns a minor fall into a life-ending injury. We look at exercise as vanity, trying to look good for the summer, but we need to shift that perspective immediately. You are not training for the beach. You are training for the last 20 years of your life. Every rep you skip today is a debt you are passing on to your future self. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, is a silent killer. If you do not build a fortress of muscle and bone density now, while your hormones allow it, you will be left defenseless against gravity later. Suffering is waking up in a body that feels like a prison. To avoid this, you must treat your health not as a chore, but as a non-negotiable retirement savings account. Eat as if your cells depend on it, because they do. Move as if your independence depends on it, because it absolutely does. The pain of discipline today is essentially nothing compared to the pain of regret and physical dependency tomorrow. There's a specific type of suffering reserved for the elderly who are poor. It is a quiet, humiliating suffering. It is the inability to heat your home in winter, the choice between medication and quality food, and the terrifying realization that you have outlived your money. We live in a society that worships instant gratification, but if you want to avoid misery in old age, you must develop a relationship with the future. Money, in your later years, is not about buying Lamborghinis or luxury watches. It is about one thing: dignity. Financial stability buys you the ability to say no. It buys you the best medical care. It buys you the ability to stay in your own home rather than a state-run facility. The biggest lie you tell yourself is, "I'll start saving later." Mathematics does not care about your intentions. It only cares about time. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, but it requires years to work its magic. Every dollar you frivolously spend today on things you don't need is a brick you are stealing from your future fortress. Inflation is a thief that works whilst you sleep, eroding the value of the cash you hold. You must become an investor, not just a consumer. If you rely solely on a government pension or the charity of others, you place your fate in hands that do not love you. You must take radical responsibility for your financial destiny. This means living below your means now. It means sacrificing the appearance of wealth today to ensure the reality of wealth tomorrow. Being broke at 20 is a funny story. Being broke at 80 is a tragedy. Build your fortress now so you can rest inside it later. We often think of suffering as physical pain or financial ruin, but the most acute suffering in old age is loneliness. There is a pandemic of isolation among the elderly, and it cuts deeper than any physical ailment. Humans are social creatures. We wither in solitary confinement. If you prioritize your career over your family, your ego over your friendships, and your convenience over your community, you are engineering a very lonely ending for yourself. You cannot wait until you are retired to try and build relationships. By then, it is often too late. Relationships are like plants. They require decades of watering. If you neglect your spouse, your children, or your friends while you are busy hustling in your 30s and 40s, do not be surprised when the phone doesn't ring in your 70s. You must be the one to reach out. You must be the one to forgive. You must be the one to organize the gathering. To avoid social suffering, you must curate your tribe. This requires vulnerability and effort. It means investing time in people who are younger than you, so your social circle doesn't shrink as your peers pass away. It means being a person worth being around, someone who is not bitter, but full of wisdom and kindness. If you become a grumpy, rigid cynic, you push people away. But if you cultivate a spirit of generosity and warmth, you become the elder that the tribe wants to protect and visit. Solitude is a choice and can be peaceful. Loneliness is an affliction, and it is deadly. Build your bridges now. Reinforce them with love and time so that when you can no longer walk across them, others will walk across them to come to you. The moment you stop learning, you begin to die. Many people view retirement as a finish line where they can finally turn their brains off, sit on the couch, and watch television for 12 hours a day. This is a catastrophic mistake. Cognitive decline is not entirely inevitable. Much of it is accelerated by disuse. The brain is an organ that thrives on novelty, challenge, and complexity. If you don't want to suffer the fog of confusion and the loss of self, you must never retire from life. You need a purpose. The Japanese call it ikigai, a reason to get out of bed in the morning. When you lose your purpose, when you feel you are no longer useful to the tribe, your biology receives a signal that it is time to shut down. You see this constantly. High-powered professionals retire and die 2 years later because they lost their identity. You must cultivate hobbies and passions that have nothing to do with your job title. Adopt a mindset of permanent adaptability. The world will change rapidly in the next 20 years. Technology will evolve, culture will shift. The stubborn elderly who refuse to adapt, who say, "I'm too old to learn that," sentence themselves to irrelevance and frustration. They become angry at a world they no longer understand. Don't let that be you. Stay curious. Read difficult books. Engage in debates. Learn to use the new tools. Keep your mind plastic and sharp. A sharp mind can navigate physical limitations, but a strong body is useless if the captain of the ship is asleep at the wheel. Your intellect is your final weapon against the chaos of existence. Keep it sharpened until your final breath. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine you are 80 years old. Imagine the texture of your skin, the gray in your hair, the slowness of your step. Now look around that room. Are you alone? Are you cold? Are you in pain? Or are you surrounded by the fruits of a life well lived? Security, family, health, and wisdom? That version of you is real. They are waiting for you at the end of the timeline. And right now, at this very second, they are begging you to make the hard choices. The suffering of old age is rarely an accident. It is the accumulation of bad habits compounded over decades. It is the result of choosing what is easy now over what is right for later. But here is the good news. The script is not yet written. You are holding the pen. You have the power to change the trajectory of your life today. You can put down the junk food. You can invest that money. You can call that friend you haven't spoken to in years. You can pick up a book. It is not too late, but the clock is ticking louder than you think. Do not arrive at the end of your journey only to realize you packed the wrong bags. Make the sacrifices today. Embrace the discipline today. Love your future self enough to give them a life of peace, not a life of struggle. The quality of your twilight years depends entirely on the brightness of the fire you build today. Build it high. Build it bright. Start now.